What are bacteria?
Little bugs that are in your system.
Germs.
Bacteria is germs, something you don't want to catch.
They're little grungy things that get on you and make things happen that are nasty.
They're like invader cells, they're foreign to the body, and then like helper T cells are what get rid of them.
Bacteria are little tiny microorganisms, one-celled little guys.
It's part of our lives, bacteria.
You want me to tell you what they are? They're little critters that have to eat to stay alive. They are nature's way of breaking down waste.
It seems like they're growths. I believe they're fungal growths, maybe, that attack people and grow and take over someone's body.
I'd say enzymes or something.
Bacteria is germs. They're germs. I'm a historian, so I'm going to use that as a qualifier.
What is a virus?
Viruses, boy, that one's interesting. I think they do the same kind of thing, but they operate differently because we have to treat them differently. They're like aliens.
Aliens from outer space, as far as I know.
Well, it's also a microorganism, although some people, I think, aren't convinced whether viruses themselves are alive or not.
They don't know if it's really alive or not.
It's a collection of bacteria of some form that needs to feed itself to exist and tears away at other tissue to do so.
Oh yeah, it's infections and stuff like that.
Can't you introduce like bacteria into a virus and insert that into like a human body and
Powerful bacteria that kind of gets in there and screws you up.
A strain of it's communicable. Bacteria, I don't think is.
What do you think of when I say E. coli?
A virus, I don't know. Gross, that little picture of the bacteria up close all swimming around that they show after like they take the chicken off the counter from like Lysol commercials.
Bacteria, food poisoning.
Something that could make you sick.
A very bad infection.
I think of me throwing up.
I think of the U.S. meat industry.
The bad bacteria that lives in, I don't know, rotten produce.
Raw fish or raw eggs.
Raw meat and raw foods.
Dairy. Chicken and raw eggs.
I think of shit. Can I say that?
Little dots in your arm right here.
Gross intestinal failure in terms of like lots of vomiting.
Food poisoning, Africa, epidemics.
All of your cells have the same DNA. Why do they all look different depending on where they are in your body, such as the difference between skin cells and heart cells?
Well, there's other things that seem to program them to be a skin cell or a heart muscle cell. I think like stem cells are sort of generic and then they develop into the different types of cells. But I don't really know how that works exactly.
That's a good question. I don't think I know.
No idea.
I haven't got the foggiest.
No clue.
Well, the genes are able to specify the ways that the various tissues can be constructed. Not all of the genes are the same.
Well, I'm not sure. I guess that's one of the mysteries of how things develop. I'm not sure.
Through the parents, mother and father. I don't know.
I'm not quite sure about that. It may be the RNA. The RNA makes some distinction between bone cells and hair cells and skin cells, but I'm not an expert at that.
I could be totally wrong on this, but aren't they relegated from when you're born? They all have the same DNA, but when you're born, when you're an embryo, doesn't all this get relegated depending on the necessities of the body as it's being formed? I could be wrong on that.
You plant a seed in May, and in August it will be a large plant. Where does the plant matter come from?
The seed contains all the necessary ingredients, so to speak, for the full-grown mature plant, that the DNA and the genes and everything are contained within the seed, just like a human or a egg of a bird or something.
Cell replication somewhat, and just the nutrients that come into the plant.
The sky.
In the earth, in the ground, it has all kinds of good stuff to make that thing grow.
Organic matter, the short of it, I guess.
Where does the plant material come from? From stuff that's stored in the seed, I guess, and then the sun helps it grow.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know. Put me on the spot here. From the soil.
From the earth.
Comes from the embryo inside the seed. Remember that one. So.
Depends if you use Miracle-Gro or natural.
It's sort of accumulated, I guess, out of the ground. Raw materials.
Pretend I don't know anything about evolution. Describe it for me.
So evolution just basically states that everything has evolved from something else. Everything didn't just come down, like horses and everything didn't come down, they've evolved from previous beings, like humans have evolved from monkeys.
The so-called development of the human race, probably starting with animals and coming up to well, where we are today. If that's development, I don't know.
Well, evolution is a progression of something from something small, usually to something larger, or from something to like an organism can evolve into, a being or something like that.
Darwin's theory that man came from apes is, that's hokey.
I don't really know of examples, just like, I guess humans or apes to humans, I don't know.
Well, evolution, they say they came, we came from the monkeys on up. I don't know if I believe that, but.
Oh, little changes happen, and the good ones stay and the bad ones don't.
Species that are the most able to adapt are the ones that are going to survive and thrive and split into multi-species. So.
Evolution. Oh, is that something got to do with the end of the world? Wait a minute, I don't know.
Why is the overuse of antibiotics bad?
Really want to ask me this because I work in a pharmacy. It's bad because your body becomes immune to it, for one.
Because it can get you to become immune.
Because your body builds up immunity to it.
Because you become immune to it. And then when you do need it, your body doesn't affect you anymore.
It builds up an immunity to them in your system.
Because antibiotics break down your immune system, and the more you use them, the more immune you become to antibiotics.
They become less effective over time. The body reacts in such a way that they decrease their effectiveness.
It's probably bad for your liver.
Because it makes you immune to bacteria that may be good.
Well, then you build up resistance to them, and then they won't help you.
Would you or wouldn't you take antibiotics if you had a cold, and why?
I would, because I think it would help.
I definitely would.
Depending on how long the cold was.
I probably would. I don't know, I guess that's what you do. I don't know.
I definitely would. It just seems like there's so much research has been done already that the odds are I think it's beneficial more than it's going to hurt you.
Me personally, no. But I can understand why people would want to, because it could kill the bacteria off.
Yes, I would. I don't like colds, and if something's going to get rid of it sooner, I'll take it.
Oh, absolutely not. Colds are caused by viruses. You'd be a dope to take antibiotics.